Go all in and overcommit. Now that I hopefully have rehabilitated your opinion about the nature of obsession, let's discuss what we have to do to get you all in on every action and fully commit to every opportunity. You know, most people are familiar with this all-in concept as a poker term. It's what takes place when a player puts all of his chips at risk and either gets knocked out or doubles up. Though I'm not talking about money or chips here, I'm referring to a much more important bet: your efforts, creativity, energy, your ideas, and persistence. Massive action is not like a poker table. You never run out of action chips in life. You never can use up all your energy and effort by committing yourself fully. The most valuable chips you have are not money, it's your mindset, your actions, it's persistent and creativity. See, you can go all in with energy as many times as you want, because even if you fail, you can keep going all in. Most of society discourages the all-in mentality because we are taught to play it safe and not put everything at risk. We're encouraged to conserve and protect ourselves from losses rather than to go for the big payoff. Look, the giants on this planet are willing to make the big plays. They're willing to go all in. This mindset is yet again based on the myth that your energy, your creativity, and your efforts are material things with limited quantities that can't be replaced, but it's not true. There are certain things in life that do have limits, but you don't unless you impose limits on yourself. It's vital that you get your head completely reworked about taking action and that you understand there is no limit to how many times you can continue to take new action. Look, you can fail or succeed as many times as you want and then do it over and over again. Also, you can't ever hit it out of the park if you don't initially make contact and swing for the fences. And you will never hit it big if you don't discipline yourself to be all in when you don't take action. We have all heard the fable of the tortoise and the hare. The implied lesson, of course, is that the tortoise wins because he plods along and takes his time, whereas the hare rushes, becomes tired, and misses his opportunity to win. We're supposed to derive from this beautiful little fable that we should become tortoises, individuals who approach our goals steadily and slowly. If there was a third player, however, in the fable, who had the speed of the hare and the steadfastness of the tortoise, he would smoke them both and have no competition. See, the fable would then be called Smoked. The suggestion here is to approach your goals like the tortoise and the hare, by attacking them ruthlessly from the beginning and also staying with them throughout the course of the race until finality. Remember, there are no shortages of how many times you can get up and continue. There's no failure unless you quit. It is impossible for you to use up or exhaust all your energy. It is impossible for you to exhaust your creativity. It is impossible for you to run out of ideas. Look, you can never lose the ability to come up with new dreams. There is no shortage on this. You'll always be able to create more energy, to think creatively, to look at a situation or event differently, to give someone another call, to use another tactic, or act with more persistence. There will always be another hand for you to play. There will always be another day and another chance. If the bank you are working with continues to refill you with new supplies of energy, creativity, and persistence, then why not go all in on every hand? Entrepreneurs, and especially salespeople, suffer most when they fail to go all in, a topic discussed in my first book, Sell to Survive. Many sales professionals give themselves much more credit for trying to close the deal than they actually deserve, and they think they're doing so much more often than they actually are. In reality, most salespeople never even ask for the order the first time, much less 5, 6, or 7 times. My company was recently hired to conduct a mystery shop campaign that validated this. We did this work for an international company to identify where the breakdowns in their sales process were occurring. We were trying to collect information on where the franchises needed the most help. We visited more than 500 locations to see what percentage of the time the sales force was able to position the client to even ask for the order the first time. To the company's amazement, 63% of the locations shopped never even presented the client with a proposal to purchase, much less ask them to buy. This company was about to spend millions of dollars on customer satisfaction and product training programs, when in reality, this is not their problem. The franchises and their sales team feared failure and rejection and were not even playing in the hand, much less going all in. Look, if a client comes to you and you get a chance to get in front of a client and talk about your product, but never then present a proposal to that client, I assure you, you will not get the business 100% of the time. Society has successfully taught most of us to play it safe rather than to go all in with every customer in every opportunity every time. This is perpetuated in the business world with things like closing ratios, which supposedly reflect the success rate of a salesperson. I'll tell you what I do. I'm willing to go for it with every customer every time and have the lowest closing ratio of everyone, but I'll have the highest production. All in, man, all in. I don't care how many times I bust out. I'll just reload my chips and play again. See, I can't go broke. Think about it. What's the worst thing that can happen to you if you just totally go for it? You may lose the customer, but so what? You still have unlimited resources to give it your all with your next client. You have everything to gain and you have nothing to lose. You simply have to rethink your approach. This brings me to the topic of overcommitting, another frowned upon and misunderstood issue in business today. How many times have you been told to undercommit and overdeliver? I have never heard anything so backward and ridiculous in my life. Let's say you're putting on a Broadway show that you're advertising to the public. Should you announce that you have a mediocre cast with just average singing ability and then wait until opening night to overdeliver? Of course not. See, this phrase of undercommit and overdeliver suggests that overcommitting, or at the very least fully committing, somehow puts you in danger. If you're then not able to deliver as promised, supposedly, you'll leave the other party dissatisfied. Well, hey, why not overcommit in your promise and then exceed by overdelivering? Tell everyone about your spectacular Broadway cast and compel them to show up. Overcommit and overdeliver.